Hi there, I'm Tiffany with Trailhead Veterinary Services. I'm one of the owners, and I'm looking forward just to starting our formal marketing process and letting folks know what we're all about.
Welcome, Tiffany Smith.
Thank you.
Welcome, Tiffany Smith. There we go.
Thank you. So I guess I forgot I sent such a wordy intro, but yeah, that pretty much sums us up pretty well. I am Tiffany. I'm one of the co-owners and founders of Trailhead Veterinary Services. Like Leif said, you could probably throw a rock and hit our building from here. We're up 1327 Central. We've been open about 7 months now. It feels like 7 minutes. It feels like 7 years all at the same time. I've owned a small business once before in my life, but this has been a whole different animal. Pun not intended, but fitting. So it's myself, and then my business partner is Dr. Christopher Norris. I wish he could have come with today, so you all could have got the opportunity to meet him, but I left him at the clinic to hold down the fort so I could be here today. So it's just the two of us, and we have a handful of technicians, but we purposefully started off small, just kind of like grassroots feel, and are intentionally kind of ramping up just to see kind of how we were received, how the market goes. But we are small animal practice, so just dogs and cats. We don't do horses, cows. Dr. Norris, or I'll call him Chris a lot. We're pretty casual. Doesn't do, I call them pocket pets. So no like hamsters, guinea pigs. Unfortunately, we don't get to see those cuties, but plenty of dogs and cats. So where we came from, my background, I've been on and off with the animal shelter, with the zoo here for many, many years. So, animals have definitely always been near and dear to my heart. And Chris's background was a little bit different. He was in the Navy for a few years and then, worked, underground mining before he just completely changed trajectories and went to vet school. And so before opening our own practice, he went to college at CSU down by Denver, worked at a high volume orthopedic, low cost clinic down there before moving back to Montana. And he was at a couple clinics in the area, but most recently over at Vet2Go, another clinic that's kind of similar to our model that lots of folks are familiar with. So lower cost, high volume. And I was at Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter. I helped organize many of the spay neuter clinics that they operate today, vaccine clinics. So between our two backgrounds, in short, we definitely saw there is a need for affordable pet care everywhere. Post COVID, it seems like we saw adoptions, animal ownership surge, which was great. But with that, it seemed like it definitely created a bit of a what do you call it, a funnel for access to care, and Billings is no different. I don't know, for those in the room who have animals, it seems like, at least me personally, it takes a little bit longer to get in. Costs, just like everything, go up. So we kind of threw around this idea for many years. Do we take both of our backgrounds? Do we do our own thing? Is there a need for it? And finally, about a year ago, we ripped off the Band-Aid and just decided to jump, and that I kind of have to pinch myself. It's wild that we're here and we're doing it, but we are here and we are doing it. This is Dr. Norris here and our new puppy, Badger, on there. So I just had to plug him in. But what sets us apart? So I already kind of mentioned our background. So mine, I guess I'll speak more about me, not to cut Chris completely out, but working at the shelter, I saw a lot of happy stories. I also saw a lot of sad stories where people were forced to give up their animals because they loved them, but they just could not afford access to care, or, these emergent situations where, nobody's fault. You open the door, your dog runs out, gets hit by a car. Well, not many people can afford to go to a lot of the clinics in general in the area. I think last I heard, or some of these orthopedic procedures are around $5,000 to $6,000. I don't know about you guys. I love my pets, but I don't have $5,000 to $6,000 just lying around on a whim's notice. So that is kind of why we started this, is to be an option for people. Yes, at the end of the day, we are still a business. We still have to make money, but we are all about being transparent with our pricing up front, trying to be lower cost as best we can, not to kind of smack talk any of the other clinics in the area or any of our colleagues, But I think a lot of people don't realize too, here in Billings, more of the veterinary landscape is being bought out by corporations. So again, the talent, the staff that is there, they are amazing. But corporations at the end of the day, they see dollar signs. They don't see people. And that is our biggest thing. So again, yes, the cost is still there, but we are trying to come in at a fraction of that. Trying to be more surgery focused. We can do everything, but surgery seems to be the biggest gap for people. And that's where a lot of Chris's expertise fits in. Lower cost orthopedic specialties. There's only, I think he's one of 3 or 4 doctors in Billings who can do some of these procedures, again, for a fraction of the cost. It's not about undercutting our competition, but it's just about being a resource for people who otherwise could just not afford that and still need those options for their pets. And since we are locally owned, pretty small, we can work with people. So, we can, I don't want to say payment plans because that's a little spooky as a new business, but, it's just a little bit more personal. It's a little more human is the best I can describe it. So I use my background from the shelter. I know a lot of the grants in the area. I know a lot of the foundations. I know a lot of places to try to send people to get help. So as a new business, we're not having to give things away for free, but we can still try to help people. So that's really just what we're about, helping people, helping pets. That 6 minutes went really fast, so I'm so sorry. I guess I can zoom through this pretty quick because I tried to keep it pretty simple. So just my asks for you today was just helping us spread the word. As I mentioned before, we kind of dipped our toe into the pond of business ownership as best we could, started small. So we haven't really been formally marketing. It's just been word of mouth thus far. But yeah, if you have Facebook, Instagram, if you want to give us a follow, throw a couple likes our way, we definitely appreciate that. And I brought some business cards, some flyers. If you have like an alcove, a community board at your business and want to take one, we would definitely appreciate that. But I think I made it through most of it.
Well, Tiffany, I'm afraid to ask, but how many animals you got at your house now?
Okay, it's not that bad. Between Chris and I, we have 2 dogs. That's one of them, Ruby and Sage. And then I'm a sucker and got a puppy because, that's exactly what I need right now. And, Chris is a cat guy, so I blame him. He has 2 cats. The cats are his, but 5, that's not that bad.
Oh, I love it. No, I like the transparency piece. I went to the vet just not that long ago, a few weeks ago, and my dog needed, vaccination. I was thinking about flea and ticks because we're down on Norm's Island all the time.
Yeah,
and then it's time to get him neutered, right? And so it was like, and so then they wouldn't tell me what it was. Like, come on. And so, well, do you want to book the appointment? I'm like, well, I need to know how much it is first. And then, then they had to send me this quote in an email. It was like, it was $1,000. And I was like, so I guess my question is, I get it. Everything costs money. Do you believe in pet insurance? And what does that cover or not cover?
So I don't know, honestly, a ton about pet insurance. I've seen lots of our clients who have it, but I don't get to see the payout side for what they cover. I imagine it's pretty similar. A lot of the home and auto companies are actually offering that now. So I think I've heard some premiums can get up there for pet insurance, but I think it kind of just comes down to like your, what do you call it? Like your tolerance for risk and how accident prone your dog is. Like this dog here, I think 4 blockages in his lifetime and complications with each one of them. He was my personal dog, Pookie. So he would have been a really smart one for me to get pet insurance on, where some of your more like easy keepers, I don't know how much it saves for like vaccines and stuff, but for big unexpected things, I think it can definitely help.
When you're talking about orthopedic, you're talking like ACL injuries and hips. And things like that.
And that's something which is wild. Like in all my years at the shelter, I managed the medical program there. I never really thought about the orthopedic side of it. Shelter medicine was kind of like, get them in, fix them, get them out. We didn't see a lot of the specialties, but we see, handfuls every week for ACL tears are super, super prevalent and apparently super, super expensive to fix. And it is a pretty specialized procedure. And Chris just happens to love doing them himself. So that's another reason why we can discount those, is because it's needed, it's expensive, and he just, he really enjoys the surgery piece.
You were talking about pocket pets. You guys aren't seeing pocket pets?
No, we're not.
About like reptiles? You guys seeing snakes?
No,
and stuff?
he doesn't. I think there's a handful.
Good. I feel better about coming there.
Yeah. You won't run into any snakes in the lobby there, but yeah. And as far as the transparency piece, I've heard of clinics doing that. We actually have, I try to list our pricing on our website. So we have a whole page dedicated to pricing that has at least ballpark figures. So like a dog neuter under 50 pounds, this is what you're looking at. Of course, every case is a little bit different, but yeah, I'm just a strong believer in like, you have to budget. Like, what's the secrecy? Like it's going to be what it's going to be. So, and we're kind of leaning towards being more of a surgery center, is kind of what we're hoping to market ourselves as, like human medicine, like you have your primary doctor, you go, you get your flu shot from, you have a cold, you go there. But then if you need, you break your arm and you need a surgery, you're going to a different doctor for that. And then you can go back to your primary. So that's kind of where I'm hoping we can kind of ease into. There's not really a model like that in Billings yet, especially a low cost model, but that is kind of what we are hoping to be. So help you get your pet patched up, hopefully ease some of the expense, and then we can send you back to your usual vet for vaccines and whatnot.
Oh, that's great. I think about, obviously, my dog is my life. And so whenever I meet people and they don't like dogs, I don't like them. We can't be friends. But anyway, when I think about veterinary care, I always try to calculate in my head, like, how many dogs are there really in Billings? How many cats? Yeah. I mean, there's so much business, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's enough for everybody to go around.
Yeah, that's my exact perspective, especially from the shelter. Yeah, like, you'd think like, all right, we have to hit like our cap at some point, right? And there is no cap.
Danielle's question.
Okay, so I have sort of the opposite problem of Leif. My dogs don't like people. They don't like anybody other than us. So at my current vet, there's not really like a system for dogs who don't necessarily like a lot of other people or dogs. How do you guys handle that in the clinic? Do you have a system, or is it just is that pretty standard that there's not really a system?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I've worked at a couple of vet clinics in my lifetime, but yeah, I guess ours, with the theme of transparency, we're pretty like laid back, and just try to meet every person, every pet where they're at, and try to adjust as best we can. So the building that we bought, we revamped it to be a vet clinic. So it is a little bit small. Our exam rooms are a little small. Our lobby is a little small, but we had to start somewhere. So if, an owner tells us up front, like, hey, just FYI, my dog's really nervous, like, or if my dog might bite you, I would rather know that up front. We just know to like budget a little more time, maybe let our technicians know so we don't go like flying into the room and have your dog be like, oh my gosh. Or, we also have some owners come back with us to the treatment area too. It really just depends. Like some dogs, like my dogs, I think are bigger jerks when I am there. And so I'm like, take them to the back. They will behave better when mom is not there. Yep. They don't have to protect me. So in those cases, if the owner's cool with it, we'll take them to the back, give them their pokes. But if we have other dogs or cats who are like, I need mom here, we've had them come to the back, and we still want to be safe about it, so you don't get bit, we don't get bit. But we've had owners help participate in the treatment, or you can like sit there and feed them a treat while we do the quick little poke in the bum, and then you can go home. Or same for surgeries. Like we've had some dogs where they're fine, owners are there, drop them off in the morning, and then they just flip and they're like, oh my gosh, who are you? What are you doing to all these other critters around me? We'll call mom and dad back and be like, hey, can you help us hold them while we give them their little sleepy med, and help just try to make it like, I know that the vet is, we don't take offense to it. The vet is not a fun place for most animals. It's a little freaky. So we just kind of take each patient and see what would make it the least traumatic and the best experience for everybody is our kind of long, short answer of that.
I was talking about flea and tick season, which it is. Is there any other things that we need to be paying attention in this season of time with the weather really warming up, people getting out and about?
So like flea and ticks, I've already pulled, it just like gives me the heebie-jeebies, even working in it for these years. We've been pulling ticks off of my dogs, heartworms, like our clinic, there's so many products on the market, and every clinic has their preferences. Every doctor has their preferences. So we have one line that we use in the clinic. Just making sure at least you're like on it in the summertime. Most of them are monthly chewable tabs that can help, or they're sprays. There's all kind of stuff, but just making sure they are on something. Heartworms, when I first started at the shelter, we never really saw heartworms this far north, or it was very, very rare, but we are seeing them more. I know a lot of people tend to think like, like I used to be the same. I was like, my vet's just trying to upsell me on this stuff. It's really expensive. Like I'm fine, but more now, or more broad spectrum. So it covers fleas, ticks, heartworm, all kinds of intestinal parasites. So I do think there is value to it with, more animals being transitioned up here from the south, whether it's people moving with their pets or more animals coming from rescues down south. We are seeing a little bit more of that. And then just vaccines are important, at least the cores, like rabies, distemper. Those are the big ones that I would make sure that all your pets have if they're going to be out and about, even if you don't board them. Stuff happens, people get outside.
Do you guys do euthanizations there?
We do, yeah. I would say it's kind of a morbid joke, but you get kind of a morbid humor in this industry that everything ebbs and flows in this industry. Like we'll see all huskies one week. We'll see a bunch of this type of surgery one week. This week it seems to be euthanasia week. So we do those. Our office is, like I said, it's a little bit smaller. So we do try to schedule them for the end of the day. So it's a little bit less chaotic. And people can really, we'll let them be in our treatment room and an exam room, wherever they're most comfortable. We don't do in-home euthanasia, but I do have lots of, a couple of references for some good doctors that offer that. And yeah.
I hate keep dominating all the questions.
No.
Okay. Cool. How about
I like it.
emergency services?
Oh, that's a great one. So we do get that a lot as a new clinic. So we see emergencies as we can. We don't brand ourselves as an emergency clinic per se, but if it's a slower day or if the stars align and we can get you in, we will absolutely do everything within our power to. Or we are also very good about being like, I'm so sorry, we cannot, let me give you some names of some clinics who I know who are open, who I can try to help in that regard. So as we can.
Couple quick fire questions. I mean, one of the biggest things of what is easy to promote you is your small, but of course, price. Mm-hmm. So quick fire questions. If it costs $400 to euthanize your dog somewhere else, what's it cost at your clinic?
So our euthanasia fee is $165, and then we partner with, it's called Faithful Friends, since we don't have a crematorium on site. So people are always welcome to take their animals. If they have the means, they want to bury them at home, it would just be the $165. Or if they want cremation options, those are all based on the weight of an animal. I want to say for like a medium-sized dog, I think the cremation is around the 180 mark. So you'd be around low 300s for just like a basic euthanasia and cremation compared to, I don't know what some of the other places are charging, but.
If it costs $300 to fix a rabbit, what's it cost at yours?
Unfortunately, we don't do rabbits. I wish that we did, but yeah, he does not, Dr. Norris does not do rabbits, but.
165.
Yeah.
Scott says.
Yeah, I said I have morbid humor. We could do that, but just kidding.
One quick comment. I quickly searched your business. Mm-hmm. It comes up under veterinarian. But I think on Google you want to make sure it cuts under vet.
Oh, okay.
Double check that and make sure that's not just a glitch on my phone.
Absolutely. Thank you.
What's been your biggest challenge and your biggest reward in this journey?
Oh, that's a really good one. Oh gosh. Biggest challenge and like everything. Biggest reward, everything. Biggest challenge has just been like there has been no manual for opening your own vet clinic. Chris obviously has a lot of experience at mini clinics. I have experience in the animal realm, but yeah, it's just been such an insane learning curve. And then just trying to start small, just having the time to fit things in, or like I was telling David, I didn't even have time to schedule a real coaching for this because it's like all day, like I do reception, I tech, and then I have all the admin stuff, and then I kind of get to email. So that has probably been the biggest challenge. Biggest reward has been building relationships with people. When I first got into the animal world, I was like, I like animals. I don't like people. But I think the older I've gotten, I'm like, that's not true. I think the people who do well in this space do it for animals and their people. So that has been the coolest part, is getting to, build clients, learn their names. Like I know their dogs. I know what their dogs don't like. Or I'm like, oh, yep, Coco will bite you if you pick her up here, but she loves these snacks. So do this for Coco. So that has been the coolest part of it. And I know it's kind of just the beginning, and I hope that is one piece that we can definitely keep and maintain, is kind of being like mom and pop shop is kind of how I like to think of us. Is I hope we never get away from feeling more personal than just like, you're a number, turn them and burn them, get them out, you're a dollar sign sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So on the kind of thought process of you guys, just being able to have cost-effective options for people, and you just kind of alluded to this actually with that past question, but my big thing was what are the biggest areas that you're finding that you guys are able to keep those costs down? Is it that you guys are doing your own books as opposed to hiring out a third party to do that kind of stuff? So what would be the biggest areas that you guys are seeing that you're able to help do that? And then as you grow, do you guys foresee having to kind of implement some of those things just right as far as when you get busier, you can't do it all at some point? So what would that look like?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely something that we are always cognizant of and trying to be very aware of is how do you stay low cost and grow? Because as you grow, it means more expenses, things grow up. So we do a lot of things in-house. I have a lot of family support too. Like for just that example, my grandma is a bookkeeper, has been for years. So she is at least helping me with payroll, books when I get a little far behind. So that has definitely helped. And I guess, it's just, I joke, but I don't really. I kind of take every week and fly by the seat of my pants. We're right at the cusp of we do need to hire more staff, but because we're getting more surgeries, but then, we don't want to hire too much too quick and have slow weeks. So really it's just, just kind of making it work somehow. I do think in the veterinary scope, there's quite a bit of markup just for, the time and the education that goes into that skill set, which fair enough. I could never have made it through vet school, but I think, Chris even says it himself. He's the markup just doesn't have to be that significant. So I'm taking the words from him, not discounting, any of the other veterinarians in the community. But for this, it's called the TPLO, is essentially an ACL tear repair surgery for a dog. As I mentioned before, they're specialized. I think there's 3-4 doctors here in town that do them, including Chris. The little price checks I've got from our clients is I'm hearing it's around $5,000 to $6,000. And he just says himself, it really doesn't have to be yes, his time is valuable. The hardware that goes into it, the anesthesia, those costs are all, they're all just flat across the board. Sure, they might go up a little bit with time, but I think it's several $100s for those, plus his time and staff. And it's just I don't see where the gap is between what we charge, which is around $3,300 compared to that 6 mark. So we are still making money with that, but it just doesn't have to be that much. I don't know if I'm doing a great job of answering it, but and then I try to be transparent with people. Some of these bigger clinics that do charge that, you are paying for things like round the clock care. I am upfront, we don't have somebody who stays here overnight. We're staying, your dog is stable, they're all set. We have cameras on them. We will come down here in the middle of the night if we have to, but you are also paying for that at some of the bigger clinics. You are paying for the big, huge, beautiful lobbies, the big, great parking lots, where ours, it's we did start smaller. So on purpose, so we maybe didn't have to charge as much. So all of that has kind of just been leveling out and shifting is our hope. And I've had some people kind of give me a hard time where they're well, you're not that affordable. I think euthanasia was actually one of them where they're well, you're not that low cost. That's what everybody else charges. And I'm well, some places we do have more flexibility, let's say the TPLOs versus euthanasias, or, some of our surgeries and procedures are closer to market value, and others we have a little bit more flexibility to keep them lower, if that hopefully kind of answers the question.
Do you have any advice for people that are looking for a particular dog breed? I know sometimes people give dogs as gifts. I don't know, let's just say Valentine's Day, and all of a sudden you've got a dog that's 200 pounds, and that's not what you were planning on. Any thoughts on that? Because that happens. It seems like it happens a lot.
Yeah. From the shelter, we would see that a lot, and that's always my knee jerk, because I'm please don't do that. Don't give someone a pet as a present, or give them a gift card or a money or an IOU so they can pick what animal they want when it's best time for them. But if you just found an animal, however, whether it was a gift or whether it just circumstantial came across you, there's lots of really great like breed specific rescue groups. I don't, as someone who's had to rehome an animal in my life, I know how like hard and like traumatic that can be. So yeah, there's no shame if it's just like not going to work. There's lots of good resources. YVAS, there's other rescues, again, breed specific ones. There's lots of great trainers in the area. There's lots of different avenues people can go, and I'm always happy to chat with folks about that. That's kind of one of the parts I like about working at the front desk, is using some bits of my background and other ways to help just give resources to people to make stressful times a little less stressful.
Time for one more question?
So a couple of questions within this question, but what percentage of your business is emergency care, and do you take emergency care? 5 p.m. on a Saturday, there's some emergency. Are you open to making money at that time?
So right now, we don't market ourselves as an emergency clinic per se. So it's just kind of like case by case basis, based on the load that we have that day, and then just kind of like capacity for care for our staff, for our team. We are open now Tuesdays through Fridays. So we're closed Saturday, Sunday, Mondays. So if we try to let all of our clients know if you do have an emergency outside of those hours, here are the emergency clinics in the area. We'll touch base with you when you're back in the office. But then at the same time, we have really horrible work-life boundaries. So we do have a texting app through our clinic. So like last week, we had several amputations and an orthopedic surgery go home like Wednesday through Friday. So all of those people, they have that number. We do try to check it throughout the weekend. And like, if it's an emergency, like if your dog's bleeding out, please don't wait for me to get back to you. Go to one of the emergency clinics. But if you have just like a question, like, hey, like we had one of the dogs, he ripped his stitches out Sunday at 5:00 at night. We were in town. We happened to see it. So that's kind of the personal piece that I'm hesitant to market myself that way, but that is how we are now. That's
Contact you first.
Yeah. Contact us first. We will bend over backwards to make it work if we can, or if not, we refer out.
Great. Did you refer to what your 1 million cups question is? The ask for us. Did you talk about that at all?
Just briefly. Yeah. Basically my easy ask for you guys, if everybody could just like give us a follow on social media. We're on Instagram, on Facebook. That. And then I did bring some business cards and little like tear off flyers. So if anybody has like a community board, or you go to your favorite coffee shop and they have one and you want to take one, throw it up for us. We would greatly appreciate it. But that was my simple ask for today.
Great. Well, thank you. Congratulations on
thank you.
your business.
Thank you guys.